Now is Horace Cooper, co-chair of Project 21, author of the forthcoming book, Put Y'all Back in Chains. Also with me, Charlie Kirk, founder and president of Turning Point USA and author of The College Scam. Charlie, the Democrats are out of ideas. I mean, their bag of tricks is spent. And so now they're the ones who are, with a wink and a nod, kind of egging the activist class on, pushing them toward violence, and yet they call the GOP the dangerous ones here?
That's exactly right, Laura. Great open, by the way. So look, they're trying to provoke, I think, conservatives and Republicans to do something that we shouldn't do and that's uncharacteristic. We have to remember, we have to stay peaceful in these next 6 weeks for the midterms, because their language that Democrats are using seems to almost try to get Republicans and get grassroots activists just to say, I'm mad as heck and I'm not going to take it any longer. You see what happened in North Dakota just a week and a half ago, where a 41-year-old man ran over an 18-year-old because of political views, Kaylor Ellingson. And we have to be lectured by Joe Biden on domestic violent extremism. Meanwhile, over 60 pregnancy crisis centers were terrorized by Antifa and far left-wing groups. Laura, you're spot on. If you look at some of the polling, and it happened gradually and then suddenly over the last week, almost every single one of these Democrat Senate races are flipping in the direction of Republicans, whether it be Laxalt in Nevada, Walker in Georgia, Blake Masters in Arizona is looking very good, Pennsylvania and Ohio. You're starting to see the Democrats really act as if it's the last gasp of a dying regime. We have to remember that the more that we focus on these issues, the more we organize, the more they're going to be threatened, and their language, I'm afraid, is only going to get more outrageous now to the midterms.
Yeah, Horace, I think they've tried, and they've had a lot of help in the media to spin away the economic news and focus on January 6th or Charlottesville or the Dobbs decision. But in the end, people know what their accounts look like, or their lack of a bank account after what happened to this economy. You can't spin that. It is what it is, and they've screwed it all up royally.
Not only did they screw it up all royally, they did it in such a quick period that people can see what it was like just a couple of years ago and what it is like now. You know, if you took the little frog, put him in a pan, turn the water up just a little bit, you might be able to cook the frog until it's dead. But if you put a lot of heat on it, like this administration has, bringing crime to unprecedented levels all over the country, inflation, gasoline prices, every single, not to mention the cancel culture, it is making the frog jump out. And guess what? We have an election coming, and the greatest way for people on the right to exercise power, to exercise control, is to punish the very people that have caused the problems that this country faces.
Well stated. And Charlie, Eugene Robinson, who's a columnist, liberal for the Washington Post, decided to double down on hurling smears against Republicans today. Watch this.
They have no plan for governing, and they have no interest, really, in governing. It will all be about revenge. That's what's happened to the Republican Party. It is shocking, a shocking example of devolution into, again, what's essentially a criminal/authoritarian organization.
Criminal/authoritarian organization, Charlie, from the Democrats, who can't tolerate one or two of their own questioning trillions of dollars in spending, which is what Sinema and Manchin did, at least for a few minutes.
He actually used to be really interesting about like a decade and a half ago. I don't know what's happened. Actually, what's happened, Laura, is they've run out of words, honestly. I mean, what else besides despotic, authoritarian, dictator? They just have to keep on repeating and recycling these words. And they're accusing Republicans of going on a revenge campaign after, I don't know, the 49th impeachment attempt of Donald Trump with the January 6th committee. We're the ones that are doing the revenge campaign when they go after anyone in Trump's orbit for just the idea that they were associated with the president that wasn't supposed to win in 2016. Look, if that's their message, good luck. I'm telling you, this next 6 weeks, I think you're going to see momentum like we've never seen before. You said it perfectly, Laura. They're losing on every issue voters care about. Their narrative is collapsing, and all they have left are these outrageous, hyperbolic insults that are falling flat with voters.
Horace, the question I think is going to be, when will New England and when will California and Washington State and Minnesota and Oregon, when will those states finally say, you know, we've tried this for decades, it just isn't working? That will be the watershed moment for this country.
Well, I'd keep my eye out on those places. Connecticut is a race that I'm watching, both for the governor's race as well as the Senate race. The Washington State governor's race, the Washington State Senate race. Trafalgar's been putting out numbers showing surprisingly close in dark blue states like that. Let me tell you what the problem is I see it is. When I was younger, there was a playbook that the left used. They lied, they pretended, I'm for you Americans. I'm for building the economy. I love the American flag. I'm doing everything I can because I support you just as you are, and I love you. And then they'd get elected, and they'd do exactly whatever it was that they wanted. This time around, they've thrown that playbook out, and they're doing every crazy thing and saying, elect us, and we'll do more of it. Well, guess what? I predict you're going to see this fall the biggest repudiation that we have seen in a generation.
Horace and Charlie, great to see you tonight. Thank you.